Good morning, my friend. What up? Sunday morning. A little overcast, but it'll burn off. It is burning off, actually. Time for a cup of coffee. Cheers. I hope you're going to have a wonderful day. I asked you this morning, what is courage? It's a really interesting question because many people think of courage as lack of fear. And I don't think it is. Courage isn't lack of fear. It's willingness to move forward in the presence of fear. There was a very good book written called Face the Fear and Do It Anyway, and it's sort of a Bible of handling fear, because we all have fear in our life. Many times we have fear of the future, but if we spend our time being fearful of the future, we will miss the present because we're worrying about the future. We're missing the present. We're not here. We're not present. And I think right now it's extremely important to be present. You know, this morning we had got the news that Melbourne, Australia was placed under a much more severe restriction than we've ever seen anywhere. They had about 600 new cases of COVID, and they've thrown what they're calling a class 4 emergency or restriction. For the next 6 weeks, residents of Melbourne, Australia aren't permitted to go more than 5 kilometers from their home. That's about 3 miles. Only one person a day can go up to 3 miles to do whatever shopping they need in the family. The whole family can't go. There's You can exercise outside for 1 hour a day. There's serious restrictions in place. Now, there's two ways to look at it. One is to look at this as wow, we could be fearful that could happen to us here. We could have that severe of a restriction or worse. Or we can take charge. One of the things that's often said, and by the way, I'm rambling a little bit this morning. I'm thinking out loud about what all this means. So I'm not saying that I really know the answer, because I really don't. But the thing that's interesting is, for those of us who work from home, having those kinds of restrictions thrown at us just simply, it really has very little impact. Very, very little impact. We just keep doing what we're doing. We keep going. It's a brave new world, Aldous Huxley. And good morning, Michael. Good morning. We're basically talking about courage, and also talking about the new restrictions that were announced this morning that were placed on Melbourne, Australia. Now, I don't think we've seen anything that strict here in the United States, although I could be wrong. The United States is a big place, and there's a lot of different areas that have different restrictions. But the question is, how do people react to these kinds of things? And one, of course, very normal reaction is being fearful of the future. And if we're fearful of the future, then we miss the present. And we don't get to take advantage of opportunity that might be present for us, because we can't see it, because we're worrying about the future. Now, notice what I said. It means that if we're worried about the future, we can't see any opportunity that might be there in the present, because we're not focused on the present. We're focused on the future. So those of us who work from home, this kind of a restriction, while it's a minor inconvenience, it's just not a big deal. We just keep doing what we're doing. So I'm going to come once again to the idea that this time, if you don't have a side gig, a side hustle, something going on in your life that's going to help you raise some money, and Isn't a get rich quick overnight scheme. If you need money next week, that's something else. But in order to begin to secure your future, you need to take control of your future. The best way to predict your future is to create it for yourself. Don't sit back and wait for the government or God. Not that I have anything against God. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. But I personally don't believe that God comes down and interferes in the daily operations of life for men and women on earth. I don't believe that's God's role. I believe He put us here, gave us a sort of a set of instructions, and said, "Have at it." And he sits back there and has some good belly laughs when he looks at what's going on down here. But it's up to us to take care of ourselves. Even the Bible tells us the Lord helps him who helps himself. It's up to us to take care of ourselves and to face the future with fear, but with determination and with action. Face the future with fear, because we're allowed to have fear. But courage is taking action in the face of fear. It's moving forward. It's doing what needs to be done. It's taking care of things. I hope you're going to have a wonderful day. As usual, I intend to be happy. I hope you do too. It's a choice. And remember, the world needs a whole lot more of that. We'll talk again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.